So we are talking about the movie ARBOR Demon, which is also known as Enclosure. This one directed by Patrick Rea and stars Fiona, Dourif and Jake Busey. And if those nice surnames sound familiar to you, they should. They are both offspring of somewhat famous actors. Now, the story here focuses on a young couple as they are spending their 2-year wedding anniversary by going camping. And they decide to go into these kind of remote woods to get away from it all, get away from the kind of the hustle and bustle of modern life, etc. And while they're there, they kind of encounter a group of kind of rednecks who are seemingly out there with their own agenda. But they are both menaced by an unseen force that we hear whistling around in the kind of the trees, and it turns out that there is some kind of supernatural force in these woods. And now, for the reasons why they're there, etc., and what actually happens, you'll have to go and watch the movie to find out. So, what do I think of ARBOR Demon? I've got to say, I was somewhat intrigued with the premise of this film. I did like some of the ideas behind these creatures, basically. It does have a somewhat unique modus operandi in regards to what the actual threat is and what it actually kind of wants, but I didn't feel like it was particularly well executed. The film kind of does lack some kind of logic, I have to say, and when it's all said and done, you're kind of watching this film, you'll think, I don't really understand why people were doing this, or maybe people didn't pick up on that, etc., etc. There are a few kind of genre cliches as well, the typical kind of redneck hicks, all that sort of stuff, and you know what's going to happen in certain situations. I feel it's a somewhat competently directed movie, and it makes use of this kind of woodland setting, although a lot of the action actually takes place within a tent, so it visually isn't the most interesting of movies at any point. The actual creature designs themselves, I have kind of mixed feelings with it. Again, I did like the fact that it is somewhat original in regards to its kind of antagonist, so we say, but I don't feel, again, they were particularly well executed. There are a couple of scenes where the effects, I feel, look on the weaker side. There's a bit of overuse on kind of green screen and things like that at times where I didn't feel it was necessary. They could have just done it with exterior shots and it would have looked a lot better, if you ask my opinion. And some of the makeup effects are kind of not so good at some places. But when we do see less of these kind of creatures, again, your mind starts to kind of wonder what it is and stuff. So that part of it was good. Overall, I've got to say, it did have some quite good ideas here and some original ideas, but I didn't think it was particularly well executed, and ultimately became a little bit of a disappointment in the end. It wasn't a terrible film by any stretch of the imagination, and I feel it will certainly find its audience, but I don't feel it was anything special on the other hand. So I'm going to give this a slightly below average. I'm going to give this movie a 4.5 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave a comment, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.